This is the book, The Government of God, by John Taylor. And I'm going to share a part that I like that talks about the contrast between when the world was in harmony, when Adam and Eve at the creation, and then when the fallen state, and also it describes again when God or when Jesus bring harmony again to the world, how the scenery, how everything will change and be different. And I like how all the animals got along together, and people got along together, and everyone was vegetarian, vegan, and there would be no flesh or blood spilled. This is a representation of what's going to happen and where we're heading and how we can become more pure today. We don't necessarily have to wait for that to happen. We can, by learning this, start and change our lives and improve. So he starts by saying, bring it up. Okay. So it says, and I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree, in which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every herb for meat. And it was so. From the verses we learn that the earth yielded neither noxious weeds nor poisonous plants, nor useless thorns and thistles. Indeed, everything that grew was just calculated for the food of man, beast, fowl, and creeping thing. And their food was all vegetable. Flesh and blood were never sacrificed to glut their souls or gratify their appetites. The beasts of the earth were all in perfect harmony with each other. The lion ate straw like the ox. The wolf dwelt with the lamb. The leopard lay down with the kid. The cow and bear fed together in the same pasture, while their young ones reposed in perfect security under the shade of the same trees. All was peace and harmony, and nothing to hurt nor disturb in all the holy mountain. O reader, contemplate for a moment this beautiful creation, clothed with peace and plenty, the earth teeming with harmless animals, rejoicing over all the plain, the air swarming with delightful birds, whose never-ceasing notes fill the air with a varied melody, and all in subjection to the rightful sovereign who rejoiced over them. While in a delightful garden, the capital of creation, man was seated on the throne of his vast empire, swaying his scepter over all the earth with undisputed right, while legions of angels encamped around him and joined their glad voices in grateful songs of praise and shouts of joy. Neither a sigh nor a groan was heard throughout the vast expanse. Neither was there sorrow, tears, pain, weeping, sickness, nor death. Neither contentions, wars, nor bloodshed. But peace crowned the seasons as they rolled, and life, joy, and love reigned over all his works. But oh, how it changed the scene. It now becomes my painful duty to trace some of the important changes which have taken place and the causes which have conspired to reduce the earth and its inhabitants to their present state. First, man fell from his standing before God by giving heed to temptation, and his fall affected the whole creation as well as man and caused various changes to take place. He was banished from the presence of his Creator, and a veil was drawn between them, and he was driven from the Garden of Eden to till the earth, which was then cursed for man's sake, and should begin to bring forth thorns and thistles, and with his sweat of his face he should earn his bread, and in sorrow eat of it all the days of his life, and finally return to dust. Now, reader, contemplate the change. This scene, which was so beautiful a little before, had now become the abode of sorrow and toil, of death and mourning. The earth groaning with its production of accursed thorns and thistles, man and beast at enmity, the serpent slyly creeping away, fearing lest his head should got the deadly bruise, and man startling amid the thorny path, in fear lest the serpent's fangs should pierce his heel, while the lamb yields his blood upon the smoking altar. Soon man begins to persecute, hate, and murder his fellow, until at length the earth is filled with violence, all flesh becomes corrupt, the powers of darkness prevail, and it repented, knowing that God had made man, and it grieved him at his heart, because the Lord should come out in vengeance and cleanse the earth by water. Having restored the earth to the same glorious state in which it first existed, leveling the mountains, exalting the valleys, smoothing the rough places, making the deserts fruitful, and bringing all the continents and islands together, causing the curse to be taken off, that it shall no longer produce noxious weeds and thorns and thistles. The next thing is to regulate and restore the brute creation to their former state of peace and glory, causing all enmity to cease from off the earth. But this will never be done until there is a general destruction poured out upon man, which will entirely cleanse the earth, and sweep all the wickedness from its face. This will be done by the rod of his mouth, and by the breath of his lips, or in other words, by fire as universal as the flood. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together. And the little child shall lead them. And the cow and the bear shall feed, their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of knowledge of the Lord, and the waters cover the sea. Has the waters covered the sea? Thus, having cleansed the earth and glorified it with the knowledge of God, as the waters cover the sea, and having poured out his Spirit upon all flesh, both man and beast becoming perfectly harmless, as they were in the beginning, and feeding on vegetable food only, while nothing is left to hurt or destroy in all the vast creation, the prophets then proceed to give us many glorious descriptions of the enjoyments of its inhabitants. They shall build houses and inhabit them. They shall plant vineyards and drink the wine of them. They shall plant gardens and eat the fruit of them. They shall not build and another inhabit. They shall not plant and another eat. For as the days of a tree are the days of my people, and mine elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands. They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth in trouble, for they are the seed of the blessed of the Lord, and their offspring with them. And it shall come to pass that before they call I will answer, and while they are yet speaking I will hear. And in this happy state of existence it seems that all people will live to the full age of a tree, and this too without pain or sorrow. And whatsoever they ask will be immediately answered, and even all their wants will be anticipated. Of course, then, none of them will sleep in the dust, for they will prefer to be translated, that is changed in the twinkling of an eye, from mortal to immortal, after which they will continue to reign with Jesus on the earth. When Adam was driven from the garden, an angel was placed with an aiming sword to guard the way of the tree of life, lest man should eat of it and become immortal in his degenerate state, and thus be incapable of obtaining that exaltation which he would be capable of enjoying through the redemption of Jesus Christ, and the power of the resurrection, which his renewed and glorified body. Having tasted of the nature of the fall, and having grappled with sin and misery, knowing like the gods both good and evil, having like Jesus overcome the evil, and through the power of the atonement, having conquered death, hell, and the grave, he reigns that paradise, from which he was banished, not in the capacity of ignorant man, unacquainted with evil, but like unto a God. He can now stretch forth and partake of the tree of life, and eat of its fruits, and live and flourish eternally in possession of that immortality which Jesus long ago promised to the faithful. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, and eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of God. And that's how this book ends. It's The Government of God by John Taylor. It's a really good read, and I just shared what I like most about it. Thanks for listening.